Chapter 14. Tracy surveyed the scene. This is not good. Twilight is out cold for what looked like a sleep spell. Tracy found herself surrounded by 4 thugs. 4 furious, muscular thugs. Fluttershy whimpered in fright. What's she going to do? He turned frightened that he wouldn't have no choice but give up. She cursed Nightlight. I really wish she had magic right now. Poussin smirked in panic at the panic in Trixie's face. Take her. Don't be gentle. The 3 thugs at the front door advanced on her. 2 were unicorns, and the other was an earth pony. It seemed to Tracy that the hulking goons were more interested in beating her to a pulp than casting spells on her. That was a good thing. She could use that. Be unpredictable. Make them react to you, Tracy thought. Stall, Trixie, stall. She started to quiver. Please don't hurt me. I didn't mean it. She pleaded in a pitiful tone. Her best bet was to make them underestimate her. It might be possible to use her lack of a horn to her advantage. Poussin snored. It doesn't matter. Because of you, I've fallen out of favor with the princess. I don't tolerate personal inquiries. Tracy sniffled, pretending to cry. Please, I'll make it up somehow. Make it up to me. Poussin laughed. You will when I turn you into the police and ruin everything you have ever hoped for. Fluttershy whimpered again. Poussin turned towards the thug holding Fluttershy. Let Miss Posy go. She's a victim in all this. Miss Posy? Wait, don't tell me she's related to the Posy family somehow. Tracy thought, startled. Fluttershy shrunk when she was released and ran out of the house, tears in her eyes. I'd rather not get on Fragrant Posy's bad side, Poussin said. Tracy saw that the thugs were distracted by their boss's statement. Grabbed a nearby coffee table, smashed it to one of the unicorns. The table shattered when it hit his head and he collapsed to the ground. Get her, you foes! Poussin screamed. The 2 thugs jumped at her. She got out of the way, deftly, ducked under them. Her eyes widened when she saw that the unicorn had been holding Fluttershy, charging a spell. He saw a blast of energy at Trixie. She grabbed the nearby unicorn brute by the neck and twisted him around just in time. The spell held him full in the chest, causing him to collapse unconscious at Trixie's hose. She swung the body into his companion, coming at her right, and bolted towards the open door. Trixie ran past Poussin, who started screaming at her minions and chased after her. She saw another bolt of magic coming her way, and ducked just in time. You won't get away, Poussin promised. I will chase you to the ends of Equestria and beyond! Trixie scowled as she realized she had left Twilight behind. Sorry, Twilight. I'll come back for you. Somehow. Sleuth cursed when he saw the escalating scene unfold. He had followed Lunamoon to see what she was up to. He knew he couldn't arrest her with Sparkle aiding her. Gathering information seemed to be more prudent. He was intrigued when Sparkle suggested using animals to gather information on the murder, so he allowed it instead of going back up. Sleuth stood by a window and used his keen hearing to pick up what they were talking about. He was very fascinated by what Fluttershy translated and marveled at her ability. He was satisfied that his hunch about Lunamoon being innocent was right, but proving it would be difficult. It seemed to him about time to sneak away when he saw that the house was being surrounded by tough-looking ponies. Luckily, they didn't see them, and he dived into a nearby bush for cover. Who the hell are these guys? Sleuth thought. They didn't look like any of the hired ponies that he'd seen with Duke Greengrass or the other nobles. He gaped when he saw Vice-King Poussin approaching the house. Oh, of course. The scandal involving Miss Sue's daughter phone napping. Was it the Vice-King implicated behind it? Sleuth marveled at the level of the enemies Lunamoon had. She seemed to have half of the Night Court at her head now, and that wasn't even counting Corona. Sleuth heard a spell being discharged, and a small cry for Sparkle quickly went inside. He pondered his next course of action. There's no way he would let Lunamoon or Sparkle come to any harm. He had to talk the Vice-King down using his authority. Sleuth stood up and strolled towards the front door. He whispered he heard something being smashed against some pony. He hastened his pace and approached the front entrance. Suddenly, Lunamoon rushed out of the front door at top speed, and Sleuth found himself blindsided, crashed to the ground. Sleuth's whole body ached from the impact, and he struggled to his hose. 3 thugs burst out the door in pursuit. One of the unicorns was preparing a spell, and Sleuth punched him in the jaw, making his spell go wild and miss Lunamoon. Who in the hay? Another pony thug said before Sleuth clobbered him as well. YOLO! The unicorn said, sending a punch towards Sleuth. He deftly dodged it, smashed his leg into the pony's shin. The thug cried out in pain, and Sleuth delivered a blow to his temple, knocking him out. Sleuth shook his huff and entered the house. Sleuth could see one member of the Vice Street's gang remaining in the house, but was startled by Sleuth's appearance. He could see Sparkle's form on the floor. It didn't seem like she came to any harm. Poussins gave him a cold look. Nice going. You've let the dangerous kid off the lead, detective, Poussins said haughtily. That remains to be seen, Vice Rain, Sleuth said smoothly. I doubt Miss Fluttershy appreciates having her front door smashed and being accosted by a bunch of Brutus ponies. Also, under what authority do you do this? Sleuth asked. Apprehending Little Moon is the job of the police. It was for Posy's own protection. Poussins gave an unresponsive smile. If you must know, we are after the bounty on Little Moon's head. Miss Posy? What's she talking about? Sleuth raised an eyebrow. Bounty? A large bounty was placed on Little Moon's head, Poussins explained. We are just here to ensure that dangerous psychopath doesn't hunt anybody else. You have a body hammers license? Sleuth asked, perplexed. Everybody needs a hobby. Poussins gave another unpleasant smile. I leave the rest to you, detective. The remaining thugs sheepishly followed Poussins as he left. So he hit the thugs on the ground in the head, yelling them to get going, and he obeyed. They gave Sleuth dirty looks, but left after a few insults from their boss. Sleuth bent down and checked on Sparkle. He seemed fine. Sleuth got some magic-canceling cuffs and put them around Sparkle's hooves. He repented her for casting spells. He was grateful for the clues, but she was a criminal that helped the suspect escape from jail. Miss Fluttershy? Sleuth called out. He remembered that she was here, too. He searched the house for her, but found no trace. It seems he fled the house when he was approaching from the front. I'll have somebody come by later, see if she's okay. Sleuth hoisted Sparkle onto his back and left her town. While on the way to the station, he pondered how he could use that information Fluttershy's crow friend revealed. The chariot part was interesting and useful, but he doubted he could use the word of a crow to get a search warrant. He groaned in frustration. None of this new information was really anything he could act on. Think about it, though. This man was possible that Pierce could have been stabbed somewhere other than Ponyville. Train station had a record of Pierce entering Ponyville the day he was snapped, but he was starting to question the vitality of that clue. A trip to Camelot seemed like a good idea, but first he would check if some pony actually saw Pierce on the train or in the Ponyville that morning. Sleuth froze as he heard a sound behind him. He looked back and saw nothing but trees blowing in the wind. Must be my old nurse acting up, he thought, and continued down the road. Hold it. A voice to his right said. Sleuth turned towards it. Approaching him was some shady-looking ponies in suits blocking his path. May I help you? Sleuth asked. Far against one. Not good. These ponies looked like trouble. The boss would rather not have this feeling having an arrest on a record, if you catch my drift. The pony in front said. It was a cream-colored unicorn with an orange mane. Really? Sleuth said. Not like his ponies. His mind raced on what he could do. He would pay you handsomely if you handed the feeling to us and forgot all about this, the goon said with a crooked grin. Sorry, but I don't take bribes, Sleuth said, narrowing his eyes. Ever. It would be smarter if you did, the lead pony said. The ponies behind him gave Sleuth looks that promised violence. Sleuth put Sparkle on the ground, gingerly and prepared to fight. Never. Get him, the lead pony said. 3 ponies behind him charged. They were quick and deadly. They moved as one. Unlike Poussins' thugs, these guys were used to fighting together. Sleuth braced himself for their attacks. He was surprised at their swiftness, and soon found one punching him in the gut, making him lose his breath, and collapsed to the ground onto his knees. It didn't take long for them to gang up on him and start beating him. He soon found himself on the ground, howling in pain and kicked him over and over again. He did his best to cover his body to prevent more serious damage. Sleuth groaned when he finally stopped their attacks. Idiot, the pony said. You should have taken our offer. Suddenly, a green and yellow figure dropped to the ground from a tree and planted a fisted hoof to the skull of one of the thugs. The new arrival appeared to be a mare. Her yellow coat had strange green markings all over it, and her mane was covered with so much dirt, leaves, and branches it was impossible to tell her mane color. One of the brutes tried to come from behind, but the new pony just whirled and delivered a powerful kick to the ribs. Sleuth was sure he heard a crack. The mare kicked the last thug in the groin. Ugh! And he collapsed in pain, received a hoof on the chin for knocking him out cold. What the lead pony asked, wide-eyed, and he bolted when the lone mare just now all his friends gave him a piercing glare. You okay? Sleuth's rescuer said in a gruff voice. Yes, I think so, Sleuth breathed. It hurt bad, but you'll live. Good. Doesn't look like you broke anything. You should be fine. The mare put Sparkle on her back and took off towards the forest. Wait! Sleuth tried to say, but she was off before he could say anything, or even get a good look at saved him. Sleuth sighed and got to his hose. He led towards Ponyville to get help for both himself and those thugs. Trixie ran as hard as she could. After some time, she looked back and was relieved she wasn't being followed, and that was odd. She crinkled her brow. She wondered if she could turn back. Trixie was worried about Twilight. She would turn back, but froze when she heard a voice.
Oh, I thought you might try to pull this, Miss Little Moon.
Fister grinned.
Not a bad idea, creating a fake trail. Too bad you can't come back towards Ponyville. I had the place so once that there was no way you could pursue unobserved.
Oh, Ponyvilles, Trixie cursed. She saw Fister wasn't alone. He had 8 different ponies with him. I hate my life. The thugs approached her, grinning with menace. She stepped back and looked around her in panic. She was near the Everfree and was only a few hooves away from it. There was a moment of hesitation before Trixie decided to heck with it and ran towards the forest. As a best bet, it would be difficult for them to follow her in there, and had plenty of places to hide. The thugs ran after her, but they were too late. She made it inside. Trixie ran deep into the forest. She made several twists and turns, making it following her hard. As she was running, a thought struck to her. I'm actually going into the Everfree forest. Trixie stopped and looked around her surroundings. She was suddenly very wary of what she might encounter in here. Trixie tensed up when she heard ponies yelling behind the trees. So not to think of the 1,000 different things that could tear her apart and make her a Trixie sandwich. This is a car I live in the Everfree. Hey, she could help me. Trixie thought some realization. The Zebra Zombie would be a great ally in her predicament. Wait, I have no idea where she lives. Trixie screamed when she realized that she just ran off a small cliff and tumbled down an incline to the ground face first. She was covered in foliage. She winced from the scratch she received from the branches on the ground. Ow! Okay, I need to actually look where I'm going. Trixie's body ached, but she got up and started forward, ignoring the pain. She froze when she heard growling. She still resolved. You've handled the monsters 1,000,000 times. This is nothing for the great and powerful Trixie! Under a danger, foe to all the evil. Corona, the tyrant sun herself fears me! She gulped when she heard more howling. Trixie looked around anxiously and continued forward. She padded on, weary of her surroundings. Nothing looked familiar to her. The forest was full of wild-looking, gnarled trees. Everything looked wild and uncontained. Looked nothing like a pony-controlled forest. Trixie didn't have a clue where she was. She couldn't go back because Fister's grooms would obviously be guarding the way she came in. Trixie saw that she was nearby a particularly tall tree. It heard that maybe she could use it to get her bearings. It would be helpful to find the castle of the 2 sisters at least. Trixie grabbed the lowest branch and pulled herself up, panting and exertion. She soon found herself on top of the tree and peered around the forest. Trixie prayed when she saw the castle in the distance. The only easy way out of the forest she could see was towards Sweet Apple Acres, but that wasn't close. As she climbed down the tree, Trixie pondered her options. She didn't like the idea of wandering around the forest until she stumbled upon Sakura's home. She didn't even know what it looked like. Did she live in a cave, maybe? Should she go back and fight her way through the thugs? She didn't want to spend the whole day exploring the Everfree. She didn't even have a weapon, if only her morpher wasn't broken. A chill went down her spine when she heard something howl again. What the hell is that? Trixie thought. Suddenly, these bizarre bark-covered wolves came out of the trees. They were gigantic and their breath was hard. Their eyes glowed a sickly green color. Timberwolves! Trixie cursed. Trixie ran for it. She could hear the monsters chasing her. Trixie didn't know where she was going. All she could do was run. She put everything into it. She knew if she stopped, it would mean death. She jumped over fallen trees and branches and screamed at her as more Timberwolves came her way. She made her heart right. She needed a plan. They were probably coring her. She didn't know this forest at all. Trixie cursed as she saw the creatures were gaining on her. One tried to step at her leg, but she avoided it in time. The next wolf snapped at her head as she winced when she felt the fangs scrape her head. Trixie pushed herself even harder. She will not let these things get to her. She punched the next wolf in the face and whimpered as she crashed to the ground. Trixie ducked and smashed her head into another. It hurt, but threw the wolf off balance and rolled and hit the ground, hit several pursuers. Trixie's eyes widened when she saw a wide gap in the forest coming toward her. It looked like she was approaching a ravine. She was running right towards it. Trixie wondered if she should turn. Her eyes widened as she saw more Timberwolves coming from her right. She saw it might be possible for her to jump to the other side. It seemed like it might be a better idea than trying to face all these wolf things. They would soon wear her down soon enough, and there'd be so many of them. Gritting her teeth, she decided to go for it. She focused on the other side of the cliff and tried not to think of how deep the ravine was below it. Trixie put all her energy into the single jump. She flew through the air, and despite the danger and the fact she was probably going to die, she somehow felt like she was on top of the world. She was strangely happy at this moment. Trixie felt herself falling in the start of the cliff face and did her best to grab the edge. Her host scrambled to get off a hoof hold. She started to panic when she felt herself slipping. She tried and failed to pull herself up. After what seemed like an eternity, she found a hoof fold. She used it to push herself up, and Trixie was flat on the cliff face. Trixie laughed in triumph. She panted out of breath. She could see the wolf creature stalking on the other cliff side.
Ha! What do you think of that, you stupid timberwolves?
Trixie said between breaths. She grinned when she saw them stalk away out their paws. Trixie didn't want to move, and it felt like her limbs were dead to the world. But she knew she couldn't linger here. There was so much danger around her. With some difficulty, she pushed herself up and dusted herself off, turned towards the dark ominous trees in front of her. Trixie growled in frustration when she realized she had no idea where she was. Again. She approached the canopy with trepidation, steeling herself to face whatever was waiting her. Trixie ran to the forest, watching everything around her out of any danger. She was thankful she didn't hear any more howling, and there was no trace of those stupid timberwolves. Well, it didn't take long for something else to come along and try to kill her. Things hadn't been too bad for the last few hours, and Trixie had to be able to steer clear of danger. But that didn't mean she was safe. It felt like she was being watched the whole time. Something was stalking her. Trixie could feel it in her bones. She was able to avoid whatever it was so far through hiding and changing her trail ever so often. The only dicey moment was she came across a bizarre grove of trees with branches covered in spiderwebs. These webs were larger than Trixie had ever seen before. She made sure to go nowhere near that place. No amount of curiosity was worth exploring in there. After some aimless wandering, Trixie found what looked like to be a village full of friendly ponies. It looked like they were throwing a party. There were balloons and banners, and very cheerful and festive. The town's inhabitants smiled warmly at her.
Oh, no!
When they saw her coming and greeting with open hooves. She bolted away from the place as quick as she could. Did he really think she was that gullible? They were obviously pure evil and wanted to eat her in or something. Now something was chasing her again. Trixie was really starting to hate this place.
You will not escape,
a raspy voice promised.
Oh yeah?
Trixie yelled back,
Watch me!
Whatever was after her was getting closer. Trixie carried her teeth and pushed harder. She ducked under a visible root that was in her way. Trixie ignored how much her legs hurt from all the running. Trixie felt like she was jumping for joy when she saw apples through a canopy of trees. She grabbed one of her back legs and felt herself falling forward. She winced in pain when she fell on her face. Dark fear appeared to be a pony clawed at her. It smelled wretched. It was even worse than the timberwolves somehow. Trixie kicked it hard with her back hoof and felt like something as she kicked off its head. Trixie scrambled to her hooves and continued towards the apple trees. They were her only salvation. Trixie heard more creatures coming after her. She was almost there and could see Applejack kicking some trees in the distance. She screamed as black figures jumped on top of her. She punched and kicked her, pushing forward. It felt like at least a dozen ponies were pulling at her. She was giving in. With final punch, she pushed herself and her pursuers into the apple grove. Things didn't fall and sulked back into the Everfree, snarling anger at their lost prey.
Ha! What did he think about that? Trixie taunted. Can't right now, can you?
Trixie laughed, laying in the dirt. She was finally saved. She contented to just lay there for now, feeling like moving for a moment. Trixie closed her eyes with a smile on her face. She was ready for some shut-eye. The sun was already setting.
Just as I thought,
a voice said. I knew she might come out this way. Suddenly a pony appeared above Trixie. It was all Pusat's thugs.
Did you really think you could escape us?
The unicorn said.
You've got to be kidding me,
Trixie said in disbelief.